Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Teacher Joseph podcast. The phrase to be awash with something means to be completely covered. For example, our news headlines today are completely awash with the news story that our government plans to build new electricity pylons across our landscapes. So it means that our countryside will be awash with electricity pylons. The phrase to be awash with means to have a large amount or number of something, often to the point of being overwhelmed or inundated. It's like using the word abundance. It's true that our government have announced this, and they have a plan to fill our landscapes with electricity pylons because our current infrastructure needs to be updated. And this scheme is called the Pounds for Pylons scheme, because people who will have a pylon very close to their house will be eligible to receive £1,000 a year over 10 years. I think they're saying that underground cables are just too expensive to implement, so they'll have no choice except to build more pylons. Now, how exactly that's going to work in practice, nobody really knows. But it's basically a way to stop protests, because if you give somebody money, it shuts them up, of course. Let's just look at a few examples of this phrase to be awash with. So after the heavy rainfall, the fields were awash with water. Or maybe at a music concert, you can say the crowd was awash with excitement. Information, you could say in the digital age, we are often awash with information. At the setting of the sun, you could say as the sun sets, the sky is awash with beautiful colors. If there's any kind of cultural festival going on, you could say the city is awash with culture. There we are. And speaking of being awash, I can see that the BBC was awash with entertainment a few days ago, because they were having one of their children in need campaigns. It's like a telethon. Basically, they devote one evening to raising money for charity by having special acts. It's quite political, of course, political in the sense that the charities they're supporting, somebody somewhere is going to say that they're being excluded, of course. And it's also a little bit political in the sense of how much money it takes to run the thing. You know, these telethons, they used to last for 24 hours. So you had 24 hours of great entertainment. But these days, it's only from 7 p.m. in the evening until 10 p.m. And to be honest with you, when I looked through the names of the entertainers, I hadn't heard of any of them, so I didn't even bother to watch it. But in the days when we only had 2 or 3 TV channels, BBC Children in Need was considered to be something very, very special because it raised a lot of money. So the TV was awash with entertainment on Friday evening. Actually, you might be interested to know that uh, this event was opened by Princess Catherine. Now, she's Prince William's wife, so she's our future queen. And I could certainly say that that speech that she gave, I'm sure you can find it on YouTube if you Google Princess Catherine Children in Need campaign. Make sure you use BBC Children in Need campaign in your search. I can certainly say that her speech was awash with teeth because the way she spoke was very interesting. It was very different from other royals. Now, clearly, she's had training on this because, you know, the royals all speak in a very particular way. I'm not referring to her accents because she spoke very clearly and in true royal form. There was a lot of received pronunciation. But the way her mouth was moving was just a little bit strange because she kept her teeth clenched together. So that meant that her mouth was moving more than the royals usually use. Usually, if you look at the Queen or Prince Charles, they keep their top lip very stiff and they just pull their bottom lip down, you know, and that's very common for people here, newscasters, people in general, and not showing too much emotion. You know, they have that face that looks kind of dead without emotion. But with her, she kept her teeth completely closed and her lips were moving a lot. So as a result, what you could see was somebody's teeth, her teeth, rather than her mouth moving. And at one point, I thought she was going to bite me looking at her. So a very different way of speaking. It might just be her natural way of speaking, but I don't recall seeing that in the past. So I think she's just been given advice or creating her own style. But it kind of made her look a little bit angry. I mean, she was obviously trying to bring in emotion, which is what the royals are not famous for in their speeches, to develop her own way. But keeping her teeth together, I don't think was such a very good idea because it even affected some of the sounds that were coming out of her mouth. Anyway, I'm sure you can find it. She is thin, isn't she? I had no idea she was so skinny. A little bit more weight wouldn't go amiss, I think. And yeah, I mean, I'm sure she's in very good health, but it looked like she's going to a lot of effort to keep herself very thin. I suppose she would have to, wouldn't she? Because the media would begin a real circus if they thought that she was putting on weight. Probably they would call her Princess Weight rather than Princess Kate, or they would give her some kind of nickname, wouldn't they? Anyway, yeah, she's looking well. She was wearing a nice dress. Speaking of royals, I see that Meghan Markle is also in the news because she's been using her social media to promote a certain coffee company, and she invested a lot of money in that company because I think it was set up by someone she knew personally. And of course, she's trying to get a good return for her money, get a bang for her buck, as they say in America. We don't use that here because we don't use the word bucks, which means dollars. Here, a buck, I think, is a male horse, isn't it? Or a type of horse, something like that. Anyway, yeah, so she's been busy promoting this coffee company, and it looks like now She's getting more involved with her advertising. She already was in one of the TV ads, or at least social media ads, I think. But now she's publicly becoming associated with it. They don't have it here. It seems to be a US brand. And speaking of the media being awash with things, I can't believe that everyone has their Christmas decorations up already. I'm just as bad. I'm planning to put mine up maybe later today, but yeah, it looks like everyone's starting earlier than they used to with Christmas. Of course, the shops do it to create marketing campaigns, and already we're all feeling the buzz. But to be honest with you, it hardly seems worth it. I mean, shops are rarely closed over the Christmas period now, and it's very easy to get caught up in the rush. Why rush out though and buy a week's worth of food when the shop is going to be open probably on the 25th and 26th, where you can get some good discounts? So there really is little point. But in terms of putting up the decorations, yeah, it is a bit early. But if I don't do it now, there's a possibility that I won't do it until the 24th. So it's better to start early and get it out the way, um, especially since everyone else is doing it. I mean, I don't put Christmas decorations at the windows, but just to make the place look a little bit festive. But of course, if I put my Christmas decorations up, my cat is going to attack them anyway. So I'll need to find ways of putting them somewhere that he can't get to. My cat, unfortunately for him, he can't jump. Every time he tries, he just slides back down the wall. So he tries to jump onto the table, and he just finds himself hanging off the side of it because he doesn't really judge the height correctly. It's very funny. So that'll stop him getting to my Christmas tree if I put it somewhere that he can't jump to. He likes to climb. That's his thing. Anyway, so the media is all awash with these stories: electricity pylons, Meghan Markle, Princess Catherine, the BBC's Children in Need, and of course, Christmas. So there we are. That's today's phrase, all awashed with. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Let's talk again soon, and whatever you're doing today, have a wonderful day.